All right. So this, guys, this Zoom is, has world markets crumble? Why should you make this move? And I want to let you guys know, a lot of people panic and they say, oh my gosh, and it's a mad scramble every time the markets fall. And everybody knows. I mean, look, every market in the world has been falling here lately. The crypto market, you got the stock market, you've got the gold market, the silver market, all markets, if you follow, I'm a trader, all markets have been pretty much falling for the most part. And it's so easy that when you think the sky's falling and the world's coming down, you say, oh my gosh, let me just grab all the money I can. Let me go to the cash. Let me hunker down. I know what I should be buying. It's ammo and canned goods and holding on to my money, right? Everybody, that's kind of the mentality of the world. But I want to let you guys know that real opportunity actually comes in a crash. You don't want to panic. You don't want to panic. Should you stock up on things? Of course, all those things are good. But as far as taking and grabbing your money and starting to cash out at this and that and whatnot, yeah, look, when markets fall, there's some things that you need to cash out of, but you need to know where to put your money. Because if you know where to put your money in a crash as markets crumble, that's where fortunes are made, guys. I've always said that profits happen in a boom, but fortunes are made in a crash. And they're made by a select few people that don't panic and they know what moves to make. Now, that being said, we're going to tell you today about our platform, our cryptocurrency, and that we created and that we really deployed to change the world. And I think this cryptocurrency is really going to thrive, especially in down market times. This might be a good place to consider putting some of that cash. And there's a few reasons, and I'm not just telling you that because I'm involved. I want to give you the reasons why I believe that. Okay, one, this cryptocurrency, you can earn royalties just for simply staking 25 coins. And we're going to tell you what that entails. Peter's going to tell you all about that today. But you can earn royalties on the entire ecosystem. Now, I'm here to tell you that as other markets fall, people are going to look to what is paying them money, okay? This crypto is not paying royalties yet, but it will soon be paying royalties in the coming weeks. So people are going to be looking to what's paying them, what's paying them. And once people find it, guys, it's not going to take long for word to get out and the world to take notice of where's a good place to put your money. Oh my gosh, everything else is crumbling, but this sector in this market is thriving. So why do I think that this sector in this market will thrive? Well, it's really simple, guys. You've got to look. You've got to be ahead of the trend, ahead of the curve. You've got to look at where there is going to be massive growth before it happens. Where are people going to flock to before they flock to it? And if you can pinpoint that, you can change your life. Now, why do I think people will flock to what we have? Well, it's really simple. We have an application that is being deployed on our ecosystem. Okay, it's part of our financial system. We have our complete DeFi financial system. It's our own financial system. But this application is really the dawn of a new market, because what it does is it creates a market for intellectual properties of all types. I want to say that again. This creates a market for intellectual properties of all types. What's that mean? Well, during a down market, there's certain things that thrive. What thrives? We know that the price of food and grains and soybeans and corn and all that stuff, and milk and meat and all that stuff. Oil, we all know those thrive in a down economy. Surprisingly enough, another thing that thrives is beer, alcohol. Believe it or not, historically, when markets crash, alcohol sales, beer sales shoot through the roof. Look at Anheuser-Busch's stock, if you don't believe me. So you look at these key sectors that really rally in certain market times. But what's really cool is this application basically gives all those brands and all those intellectual properties a place to actually list their brand or their intellectual property. And for doing so, they're able to take in an unlimited amount of capital without giving up equity, without taking on debt. And they're able to also benefit their customer base and their fan base by actually sharing royalties with them. So, guys, intellectual property can include things like maybe a brand of beer or a brand of whiskey. It can include things like fertilizer that farmers need desperately right now. If you guys have been paying attention, the fertilizer prices have been shooting through the roof, and they're expected to only go higher. It could include a brand of dairy. It could include a brand of food. It could include a brand of ammo. It could include the things, the intellectual property that people buy in down markets. So as you have this platform, this massive platform that's really the dawn of a new financial system, in a way, it almost decentralizes the stock market in a way. It's very similar, okay? But you have this new financial system, and then people find out that they're able to earn royalties, and they're able to find something that pays them in a down economy. Guys, it's not going to take long for word to get out. So if you guys are out there watching on Facebook, I'm going to end the Facebook stream. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick it over to Peter here in a second, and he's going to tell you about everything. When I end the Facebook stream, guys, if you're watching right now, I encourage you, get on this Zoom. How do you get on this Zoom? Go down in the comments, and there's a link to this Zoom. If a friend is sharing it out on their feed, go to the original video and go down in the comments, and there's a link to this Zoom. If you're watching this live stream after it's already ended, after the Zoom's already ended, once the recording, the replay is up, we will go ahead and we'll post the replay in the comments so you can actually watch the entire Zoom. So later on during the day, go to the comments. If you're seeing this, if you're not catching this live, if you're catching this later, there'll be a replay of the entire Zoom in the comments. But I'm going to tell you guys on Facebook, bye for now. And I will see you guys that are watching live on the Zoom. All right, guys. Been a great week. I'm so happy you guys are here. What I'm going to do is I am actually going to kick it over to my good friend, Peter Ohanian, and he is going to tell you all about this amazing ecosystem, all the good stuff. So Peter, are you there?
Yes, I am here, Dwayne. How are you?
Good, good, good.
All right, awesome. So guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. We do appreciate everyone taking time out of their precious day to be spending it with us. What I want you guys to really focus on is what is going on in the world. So we're in the middle of essentially what really is like the predecessor to what could be a World War III. And what's going on right now is there's a tremendous amount of fear in the market. It's not only the crypto market, but it's also the institutional market. So it's both markets, right? And when we have a lot of fear in the market, that is actually the best time for us to get involved in a project, because that gives us, if it's a long-term project, it gives us the best chance to have the edge and the early advantage, what you would call first movers advantage, that a lot of people refer to in the world of affiliate marketing and things of that nature. That is what you have the capability to do here. And so let's just take a quick step back and let's talk about the sentiment of what is going on in the market right now. There have been a lot of things that have really been going on in the world of cryptocurrency. One of them being of note is the crash of Terra Luna. And a lot of people predicted that once Luna hit its epical value, which really was about $100, that it would suffer a great fall. And it did just that. It started going from 100 to 90 to 80 to 70 to 60. And then all of these institutional buyers that started buying into Luna, they decided to jump out before this monstrous crash came. You see, here's the thing that happens. All of what we consider whale investors, or people that have a substantial amount of funds in crypto, outside of crypto, they know to an extent, not fully, but they know to an extent what is going to happen before it happens. Now, they're not going to tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry about it, because they want to keep that information to themselves. And they, of course, want to get the best profit margins for themselves. That being said, those particular people all came out at the same time from Luna. And so when they saw Do Kwon basically doing what he was doing, they said, this doesn't feel right, and we're going to get out. And they all got out at the same time, and that essentially crashed the token to over a $60 billion loss. Now, that was really bad, because there was a tremendous amount of people that suffered during this crash. Now, that also brought the price of Ethereum down. It also brought the price of Bitcoin down tremendously, because all these people were starting to get fearful. They're trying to find out what's going on, and they were getting scared. And so that fear is there. Now, here's what you have to really understand. When the market is fearful is the best buying opportunity for you. In any coin, it doesn't matter what it is. So let's say if the fear and greed index is anywhere between 10 to 100, and now it's sitting at around 9, that is a great time to get into cryptocurrency. Now, that being said, Bitcoin and Ethereum may also go down significantly in price before they actually go back up. But here's an interesting thing that I have to tie into all of this. Our coin that we're going to talk about today are NRGY DeFi ecosystem, spelled NRGY. That ecosystem is not tied to Bitcoin. It is not tied to Ethereum. So whenever Bitcoin and Ethereum suffer their volatility, that is not affected by our price. What is affected by our price is how many people are buying and how many people are selling our coin on Uniswap and on QuickSwap on Polygon. That's it. There's nothing else that's really directly affecting our coin price, because our coin is tied to the USDC. And as our coin is tied to a stable coin, which actually follows the regulatory needs within the SEC, that will not suffer any kind of issues, which is really big going forward. Now, what you have to consider is, why is this ecosystem so important? Well, a quick background. Over a year and a half ago, we created this decentralized financial ecosystem called NRGY. And we started out with an automated market maker staking pool on the Ethereum side. And we said, okay, we're going to create this supply of coins. This supply of coins was 4.3 million coins. That is it. There is no more coins that can actually be minted over a period of time. Now that's already less than 1/4 of the supply of Bitcoin, but without the adoption just yet. So we always talk about how everybody that's involved within this project right now is and are the pioneers of this project. Why do we focus on that word? Because it's the people that are first to see it, the people that are first to understand it, the people that are first to value it, the people that are first to follow through with sharing with others about the integrity that this project has and the longevity that it has for the future. Those are the ones that will prosper. Now, this decentralized financial ecosystem started out way back when, okay, year and a half ago, which really seems like a long time in cryptocurrency. And we came out with this automated market maker staking pool on the Ethereum side for 100 weeks of staking. We're around 60 weeks into that period right now. At that point in time, afterwards, we started realizing that there were some things that needed to be changed. Why? The reason for that is because there was a high fee to stake into our automated market maker staking pool. You see, NRGY itself is an elastic supply. That means as more liquidity comes into the platform, then the ability for your rewards to increase expounds. However, if the liquidity is lower, then the ability for your rewards to decrease, increase, right? So the more liquidity that's coming into the platform, the more that your NRGY coins can grow within our automated market maker pool smart contract. Now, this is a complex smart contract, so that's why the fees were so expensive. But what we realized is that we needed to create another way for this to work, because we were excluding a lot of countries from participating in this. A lot of countries that had $50, $100, $150, but believed in the long-term vision that NRGY had. And so we developed the Polygon side, or maybe as you know it, Matic. And Matic is a scaling solution to Ethereum, which offers almost zero fees to stake. So now the process is that you can buy NRGY and stake that on Polygon. And for the next week or so, you will receive an 80% bonus for locking your tokens for an additional 30 weeks or so. Why did we do that? Why did we say that you have to lock your tokens for 30 weeks? Here's the reason. The reason why we did this is on the Ethereum side, it was a learning curve. And we saw many people get involved, and all those people that got involved when the Ethereum side went up drastically in price, many of those people sold their coins immediately, which drove our token value down tremendously. And that, my friends, was a little bit of a problem, although it was a good thing because it showed us who the paper hands were, which is what's known in cryptocurrency as people that don't like to hold on to their tokens, and those who are diamond hands, which are people who like to hold long term. And so this gave us a basis point of essentially how we can move forward. And so we developed this Polygon side, and we basically had a group of investors come in and say, we will help to build your liquidity in exchange for us taking and basically licensing your technology and being able to use that to develop our own coin that's in the real estate sector. So they did that. And as their coin continues to go up in value, our coin will continue to go up in value as well. Now, if you look at the market and you see what is going on with the price of energy, with the price of energy on Ethereum, as well as Polygon, you will notice there's a dip on both sides of the price. Why is that? Well, because people are fearful. They're scared. They are literally scared of what is going to happen, and they are afraid of putting their money anywhere. Now, what you have to understand is this bonus was put into place on the Polygon side to allow the ability for us to create a TVL, or a total value locked. A TVL is what a lot of institutional buyers look at to give them a sense of how many coins are in circulation versus how many coins are locked for what period of time. And so when we created this ability for people to get this bonus, it essentially was the way of rewarding them for locking their tokens for an additional now 30 weeks. So that was why we created that Polygon side. Now, the bigger picture going forward is that as you stake your energy coins, you now have an ability to literally have it sit there and it just grows for you. So you could buy it on the Ethereum side and buy 14 or 15 energy and get to the point where on the Polygon side with that 80% bonus where you're going to hit that 25 energy mark. Why is that 25 energy mark so important? Why is it so valuable? The reason why having 25 energy coins staked is so important is because you earn a percentage of the DApp revenue, or the decentralized application revenue, of every single application that is built upon the energy protocol system. That means that every single DApp that we build over the next number of years on our platform, you earn from as a result of having 25 energy staked. Right now, that's not too bad. It's around $2,600. So it's not too bad for you to even get to that point where you can actually get 25 energy. Now, that doesn't mean every single person is going to be able to afford 25 energy. It doesn't. But what it does mean that if you have the capability of doing so, you are going to be rewarded in the long run for doing that. Now, what I'm going to show you next is an update for our application called StarStake. Without stealing any of Chris's thunder, I want to share with you the update so you guys can understand why this is so valuable.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Hogg, co-founder and CEO of StarStake. So I wanted to come to you today and talk about StarStake, talk about the launch, talk about where we're at, where we're going, and some really cool things that we decided to do with this product. So again, I'm Chris Hogg. I'm here to talk to you about StarStake. So let's get into it. All right, so here we are. It's May 17th, 2022, if you can believe that. Here we are. I know we set a deadline for ourselves for May 15th. Now, let me explain that deadline and why we set that date. May 15th was the deadline we set for our team, saying, hey, we need to get this thing done. We need to really push as hard as we can to hit this deadline to have a workable product on May 15th. And we set that deadline for our developers. This is something that we looked at everything that was remaining. We looked at where we were. We looked at what was left, and we said, hey, is this doable? Can we hit this? Now, with technology, for those you know or maybe don't know, is you don't always know how to build something. You know the pieces that will get you there, but it's not always just perfect. Like, hey, this is exactly going to go as planned to be able to finish this thing. And that's the case with StarStake. Remember, StarStake is an NFT marketplace. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of new technologies involved into making this whole thing work. It's not as simple as just releasing one little piece of this and being okay with that. A lot of the pieces of StarStake, whether that's the Infinity NFTs with access to royalties and rewards and all these things, or the NFT bucks, or the access NFTs that give you access to products and such, the Creator Hub, which allows creators to come in here and mint with all these features and options, and it's Stake Hub, which is the reporting where you can actually see how your NFTs are performing and cash out and reinvest that stuff. All this, there's a training center, an academy, there's all these moving parts, and they all have to talk to each other. When you build one thing, then you build the next thing, and they have to make sure that this thing talks to that thing and that thing talks to that thing. If there's breakage in there, if something isn't coded correctly or it isn't reporting correctly, it breaks. It's a chain effect, let's put it that way. And so part of building StarStake, our process, our agile methods is to sprint and build this component, and then sprint and build this component, and then this component, and then connect them together and make sure everything works. And so there's a lot of that. And so the 15th deadline we set for our devs, we overshot that, and we didn't quite make it. So here we are in May. So we are very, very close. I would say we are right around 95% done, meaning we're about 95% away of getting a product to market. Now what's remaining, I'll just share it with you. We have the Infinity NFT smart contracts. They're finishing the final touches on that. The marketplace is done. A lot of the other components for the INFTs are done. But there are some changes that we had to make and some things we had to kind of rethink just because of the feedback we've gotten, some of the, how other things are working and how they relate to the INFTs, because that's the last thing. There's two things really that are major components of StarStake that's left. One is the Infinity NFTs. So that's just the NFTs that stars and creators will mint for their songs, for their YouTube channels, things like that, that have attachment to royalties and rewards. That piece, right? The marketplace is there, the page builder, all that stuff, Creator Hub, most of that is I would say 95% done. But the smart contract themselves has to be tweaked and just updated. That is remaining. Also is Stake Hub. Stake Hub probably being the very last thing that we have to do. And all that is just saying, okay, we have all this stuff built. Now the information that you see, the consumer sees of how that NFT is doing, how much money it's making, what it's doing, where it's at, that kind of stuff is in Stake Hub. And Stake Hub is like the graphs and charts that I've shown you in the past. And so that is the last piece of just plugging in this data to make that graph show the information correctly. All right. So with that being said, those are the two major components. So once those are done, we have a whole team of testers that come in and they say, okay, well, let's test this with this. So the bucks, we buy the bucks, the NFT bucks, we then go in there and then buy an Infinity NFT with that. And then we see what that process, make sure everything's working. The goal here with all this is to make sure there's no systemic errors. There's no bugs that will prevent someone from minting, buying, transferring, choosing and creating NFTs to seeing the information after you buy that. We need to make sure those things are correct, because this isn't as simple as just a product that is for us and say, yeah, okay, it doesn't work, it makes us look bad, and the consumers get frustrated. But we have brands, we have personalities, we have stars and other people whose reputations are on the line. So if StarStake for some reason has some serious bug or issue, and some star comes on here and they mint their NFT and they spend all this money and time marketing it to their fan base, and it breaks and it doesn't work like it's intended to, then we have a problem, because that snowballs into a big issue. Okay, it's like in the video game industry, if you're familiar, there's been companies that just try to rush projects. They launch it and the game is so buggy it's unplayable or it's unusable. It's forgiving because it's a game, right? Like, hey, you can't play the game, it's frustrated, you go and play a different game. In this world, we have brands that are personally attached to StarStake, personalities, stars, whatever, creators, that if StarStake doesn't do its job properly, it reflects them poorly, and that can get out of hand. So we just need to make sure that we are covering our bases on the major things. The little things, fine. Like if something doesn't look quite right, or if something's in the wrong place or not spelled right, we can live with that. Okay, we can fix that very, very quickly. It's the major stuff we just wanted to make sure we have in place. So the original deadline of May 15th, we overshot that, and the fact that we just missed that deadline, we were really close. And the reason we set the 15th, that allows us a couple weeks to test, to just go through everything, make sure there's no connection problems, make sure everything is working how it should. And while that's happening, Tarek and myself and a few others are creating tutorials, creating training, and basically creating all the material to be able to onboard people into the platform. But we need a working product so we can demonstrate and show. And so that's why the original goal was to launch in June. Now, I believe we can officially or accurately still launch the first, second, maybe third week at the longest in June. I will tell you, we will launch StarStake in June no matter what. We are not that far away. We are right at the tail end of all the development. We've increased our development team 3x over the last say 90 days. We've got some amazing things that are in place. We've done some amazing prep work for marketing, and I'm going to show you that here in a minute. I'm going to really explain some really cool stuff that we've added to help us all grow. But most importantly, what matters most, it's not that you missed it. It's okay to miss deadlines. It's okay to miss these goals. That means, you know, we're working towards something. If they don't mean anything, then that's a problem. If we don't learn why we missed something, that's a problem. But we've identified, okay, why did we underestimate this tech or this process, and how can we fix that? We were on it really quick. So just so you know, I would rather go to market with a product that is working, that is not filled with bugs and errors, where people aren't getting things they purchased and they spent money and they attach their brands to this. It is unforgiving in that nature. And that's why myself and Alan are very careful about when we actually release this to the market, just because of the nature of the complexity of this thing. I'm not worried about StarStake. I'm not worried about people. We have a waiting list 10 blocks deep right now. Okay, I'm not concerned about getting to Gary Vee. I'm not concerned about getting to Beyonce. We don't need them. Okay, they will naturally find us, and a lot of them already know about us, and they're waiting for us to launch. Okay, some people have come to me and say, Chris, these people are going over to other platforms and minting NFTs. You know what I say to that? Good. I want them to be out there minting NFTs, because two things are going to happen. One, it's going to help them educate on what these things are, why they're important, and how to use them in different ways. But it's also going to help them realize, like, man, I want to do more with this. I don't want to just produce art attached to my stuff. I'm a musician. I want to do something that means something for my fans. It's not just about the quick snatch of money. They're going to realize when you put that thing over there next to this thing right here, that you have a completely different opportunity. We have a way for people, creators, to build entire digital economies in one place, with page builders, with tracking, with Stake Hub, with Creator Hub, with all these financial options to attach royalties and rewards. You guys, it's insane. I don't even know how we pulled it off, to be honest with you. It's been a monster and very ambitious project, but we did it. And it's here. And so all we're doing now is putting the final touches on connecting this thing with that thing. But the independent pieces are done. So it's just now connecting everything together, making sure there's nothing that's, you know, systemically just broken. It doesn't blow up day one. As soon as we do that, then we'll be able to release this thing. Okay. So as far as what we have in the pipeline, we have a huge waiting list of stars, creators, people that we've spoken to, that other people have spoken to, and they are ready to go as soon as we're ready. So we promise to give them a great product. We're going to hold ourselves to that standard. We're going to hold ourselves accountable to that, regardless of timelines. I would rather delay a bit to be able to produce the product that we promised than to delay and not deliver the product. The market's not going anywhere. This industry is a baby. It's learning. Look at what just happened. Was a week ago. There was some really big, I'm not even going to get into it, but just some bad players out there doing bad things, just like you've seen it in crypto. It's happening in the NFT world. The market's, it's kind of a disaster right now. If you look at the crypto market, it's the best time for us to be spending time on a product and a company and an ecosystem, is when the markets are down like this. Okay, people aren't spending money like they were, so we are able to spend our time to really produce a superior product. Just like, you know, people like Steve Jobs always said, it's always down to the product. It's not going to be perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be perfect in its execution. If we say something's going to do something, it means to be damn sure that that's going to do what we say it does, not halfway, right? It's very important, and I want you guys to know that our standard is very high as far as what we say we're going to do, we're going to do it. And if we can't do it in that time, we're going to take some more time to make sure we can. The good news, all the tech, the infrastructural things are done, so the technology works. It's just making sure everything's communicating, and when you buy something, that you see what you bought, that you see the royalty come in, and that you can grab that and take it out, or you can sell this, or you can promote this. All those things that make StarStake really important, we have to make sure that that's in place. That's all. All right, so super excited. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to jump over to the computer. I'm going to show you some new additions, some new developments, some tweaks. What else can I show you? I'm going to talk to you about the agent program. I'm going to talk to you about the new manager program, and the rollout. So before I go over there, here's the rollout strategy. June, we are going to roll out StarStake. I can't tell you exactly, maybe the first week in June or maybe the third week in June. It doesn't matter. What matters is June is the date, okay? And in June, we're going to launch StarStake to all of you and to everybody, whoever wants to go in and register for an account. Doesn't matter. It's not like a beta launch necessarily. This launch is for you to go in there and create an account, go through the training academy, learn about StarStake, learn about its features, learn what you can do with it as a creator and as a fan. Buy NFT bucks, snatch up the assets that are the limited edition, the rare, the legendary assets that we put in there for you guys to get early before everybody else knows about this. Hint, hint. Okay, and then we are going to offer you the NFT All-Stars, the very first NFT. We're launching StarStake with one Infinity NFT in the marketplace. It's going to look kind of empty, but you're going to have one NFT. And the reason we're doing that is we want to really stress test this with our own, because we're a lot more forgiving than the stars are. So you can go in there, you'll be able to buy it. It'll give you some really cool limited access to content, NFT All-Stars, which has our mint maps. Really, it's for those of you that are creators to be able to get help getting on the platform. It puts you at the front of the line. So anybody that buys NFT All-Stars, you're at the front of the line, meaning when we turn on Creator Hub, you can get in and mint before anybody else. So the reason we're doing this also is to give you an opportunity to make some money to help us advertise and market this thing. So NFT All-Stars, we as a company aren't keeping any of that. So it's $1,000 Infinity NFT. You get the NFT, you get the access tokens, which you can use, sell, do whatever you want with. You also get access to training, the mint maps, and then you'll be the first to be in Creator Hub when we open that. So right now we've got about 200 to 250 different stars set up, lined up, ready to go with this. But this will all allow you to go out there and talk to everybody, share them your link to NFT All-Stars, tell them to grab it. It'll give them all these things, so you'll have a funnel to send them to. It'll explain StarStake entirely right through there, through the Astra program, and then the NFT All-Stars is kind of the product they'll want to buy to get the NFT for this new platform, to be able to help them get on. Because the whole idea of that is, one, it brings in a bunch of revenue for you guys, it brings in a bunch of action for us, it helps the financial system grow immediately, okay, and it gets all these stars prepared. So the goal is to spend 2-3 weeks getting all these people working through their mint maps, getting on workshops, preparing their assets. So then all we have to do is say, hey, those of you that are NFT All-Star members, they'll get an email, they'll get a notification in the system saying, hey, you are now available to get into Creator Hub to start minting day one. And we turn that on, people start uploading their content, their NFTs are minted, and guess what? Now all of a sudden their fans come onto the platform and it's just a frenzy. So the idea is to launch it with NFT All-Stars. You guys can grab that. You guys can share that with other creators, YouTubers, stars, musicians, experts, sports stars, whoever you want. And it brings in money for you guys, so it makes it worth your while to go out there and share this thing. And it helps us really stress test our own Infinity NFT, which we're not taking any money out of. It's all going to you guys. And but most importantly, it really helps support the stars for the first time coming on here, because we want that experience to be great. We want it to be easy for them. We don't want these new technologies to confuse them. We want it to be as seamless as possible. And we will have workshops. Tarek and Maria will be helping with those workshops to make sure everybody is educated and has a fun experience. And I think they will. It's pretty cool what we've put together. All right, so here we are at StarStake. And I want to bring a couple things to your attention. The first is the new revised header menu that we updated just after some feedback. We wanted to create a better user experience, reorganize some things. So now we have an Explore tab that allows people to go right into like the NFT marketplace. We have the Get Bucks, which is the marketplace for the NFT bucks. We have a Star marketplace, which is you can actually see and browse stars by their profiles. Because of the fact that now stars can actually create these profile pages that show all their assets. So it's kind of like all these different home pages. So you can kind of shop stars, and then also brands. Brands can create their own version of their homepage. So if you have, you know, maybe Apple, or you have Iron Man, or you have, you know, Nike. I'm just throwing this out for examples. These brand pages are for their NFTs and their bucks and things that they mint. So it's a way for you to browse that. And then my NFTs I'll actually bring you right to Stake Hub for you to see the ones that you've purchased that you have in your wallet. NFT bucks, we've categorized now so you can get bucks, which is very clear. Hey, I need to get some NFT bucks. If I want to know about them, I can go there, I can convert them into cash, and then I can just see what's in my portfolio. Just a little bit clear direction that we added. The How It Works page stayed the same. Resources, we added our Help Center, our FAQ page, which is amazing. Tarek has done an awesome job. It's over 20 pages of FAQs and a glossary of terms. There's some really important stuff for people to know. Our minting guidelines, the training center, and our Astro program all linked right in here. We also redid the Creator Hub section up at the top. You can see by hovering over Creator Hub or hovering over Stake Hub, I can get access to either one of these. Stake Hub being the place where you kind of access all your assets. So you as a buyer, as a user, everybody has access to Stake Hub. And as for stars and creators, they can have access to Creator Hub if they are allowed to. So the Connect Wallet feature is all automatic now. Once you have your MetaMask wallet, it will ask you to connect. You'll just hit Get Started. Instead of this, obviously it's connected to my wallet, but I'll hit Get Started. It'll connect everything. So when you return, you'll never, ever have to connect it again. It will automatically do it on your behalf. Super cool. The wallet feature, the shopping cart, all that is done, and that's been the same. Nothing's changed there. Okay, so one thing I can show you here is inside of Stake Hub. Okay, so when a user goes to purchase their NFTs, they get access to these kind of our next gen stats area that shows, okay, what is my portfolio doing? How is it performing based on the Stardex, which is our index that grows as Star Stake grows. Really, really important to here. You know, all the different INFTs that you've purchased and how they're doing and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so we kind of relanguaged some things in here. So now Infinity NFTs, Access NFTs, instead of Access tokens, we've called them Access NFTs because they are NFT bucks. It's just clear direction and clear branding and kind of naming conventions. The My INFTs is just the ones that you purchased, right? You can click on them, you can check them out, see all the things you need to see, cash out, reinvest that money, whatever you want to do. It's all right here. It's pretty cool. Your watch list, that hasn't changed. Your activity, that hasn't changed. So referrals, this is, you know, if you're promoting any kind of Infinity NFT, it shows the ones that you're promoting and the percentage that you're getting on those. Here's where we added the agent program and the manager program. So this is for agencies that already have, already represent stars, people that have personal relationships with creators, and they want to introduce them to this. They are what we consider an agent. Okay, it is not an affiliate program. Everybody does not get it. It's a very select group of people that are helping us bring on bigger stars, brands, etc. But the way that's set up, I'll show you, is here. So if you're an agent and you click on agents, you'll be able to actually see, it says welcome agent Dwayne Barbie, just for laughs. Obviously you guys get it. They can add a star here. So they're given credits. So if they have, you know, if they represent 5 stars, they can have 5 credits. It allows them to give them access to Creator Hub is all it does. So you can see this person would have 20 credits. They can bring them into StarStake, which just gives them access to Creator Hub. And they can see kind of their earnings. If they're the agent for that star, they get a percentage of all the sales. So it just tracks that. It's very familiar. They can see all their different stars that they have, their percentage, the amount of sales, their earnings, how many INFTs, and if they need to check their stuff out, they can click there. Okay, and just kind of some portfolio things. So we built that out, the entire, you know, add a star feature so they can see all the different stars they're representing and that they have under their agency, what they're earning on it, when they create a star, what that looks like, you know, by adding their wallet address, all that kind of stuff. And then they can see these different stats for the star that's added in their account. Okay, so it's pretty cool. We also have the manager program. So the manager program works similarly. Let me go back here. So instead of agents, it will actually say, let me scroll down. There we go. It'll say managers. Now, managers is different. The manager program came through. So let me start out. So agents are, again, it's the people that are directly connected. See, we don't have to have access to Beyonce, or we don't have to have access to some of these bigger stars, if you will. We know people. Typically, we know people who know people. And so some of those people we consider as agents, and they're qualified to be an agent. What this does not mean is an agent is somebody that cold calls Justin Bieber 10 times that tries to get him onto StarStake to make a commission. That's not what this is. This is somebody who already has a relationship, and that's why they qualify to be a manager or an agent. A manager, on the other hand, is, we found when working with these stars already and creators, is they needed help to onboard onto StarStake. What can I do with it? And, you know, maybe they don't have time. That's not their thing. And so, you know, maybe it's their PR people, maybe it's their brother. Now they can give access to those people, to their creator hub, to help them mint these things, to help them do all the creation and manage their whole ecosystem. And because StarStake is decentralized in the way that it uses a wallet address, you never, ever, ever, doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing, give away access to your wallet, meaning somebody can have your wallet and they can log into things and connect it to things. You never want to do that. So how does someone like a star, for example, give access to their brother to be able to get in and mint for them if, you know, it's connected, every account's connected to a wallet? The way we do that is through managers. So that star can now add their brother, for example, as a manager. And what all that does, that gives their brother's wallet address access to their creator hub. That's all it does. It allows them to mint and do things. It doesn't allow them to do any financial changes. It doesn't get them access, because remember, that star's account is the star's account. It's connected to their wallet, meaning the money goes direct to them through the smart contracts. But if they want help, maybe their PR team is going to help build this, or their marketing team, they can assign managers. So this is what a manager's end looks like. So if I'm a manager, okay, I'm manager Dwayne Barbie or whatever, or Edward Soft, I think I use for example, right? So I'm a manager and I can have stars and I can add, you know, get access. So the star would actually add access to this. I'll show you what that looks like over here. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. So in Creator Hub, the star would go under the manager section of their Creator Hub. They click on managers. Okay. And then it would say something like, you don't seem to have any managers active right now. This is what they do. They can add a manager to their account, and they would click that. They would then add a manager, their name, their manager's StarStake wallet address. So that manager would already have to just have a free StarStake account, meaning they already registered their wallet. And then they would choose how much they want to share with that manager. So maybe they're like, hey, help me build my NFTs and manage this thing, and I'll give you 5% of sales. That comes from their take, right? So 5% will go to their manager automatically. Their manager doesn't have to deal with the money. The star doesn't have to deal with sending money anywhere. It just automatically happens, okay? So that star can say, I'm going to add my brother in as a manager. They hit submit. It go ahead and it adds them there. You can, you know, see different information, edit the information later. If the star wants to change this or, you know, get rid of them, they can do that. Okay. So down here is where they can then manage. So the star may say, okay, here's these four different managers under their account. They can have as many as they want. So it's just to give them access to help the stars mint and do all these things in here instead of the star doing it themselves. That's all this does. And it allows them to share the revenue that comes in. It sounds simple, but there are things that had to be added for this. So we added that function. Is being built right now. It'll be ready in June. It's not actually a very complicated thing at all. It's just a permissions thing, but we needed a user interface to be able to allow that. So now it's cool. Now, you know, what I can see with this function is it allows it really allows people, what you're going to see is people opening their own agency, their own companies saying, hey, we want to manage NFTs for you. You know, this is what we're going to provide. We're going to provide design services. We're going to design strategy services. And you guys can use the mint maps that we're building if you want to help manage accounts for these stars from advertising or whatever. And now it's a great way for that star to assign a percentage of sales for you. I mean, if you're doing a service, now it's built into the smart contract system. So it's not like, okay, the star gets paid and then you have to wait for them to pay you and dealing with that nightmare. So now it's just, you know, I see businesses opening up all over the place, offering services, just like when the web's, you know, well, this kind of dates me a bit, but when the internet started, like everybody had this, here, I can help you build a website for $20,000 or whatever it was. Like everybody opened up a service. It's similar to that. I see, you know, people helping other creators, which helps us because it really gives a hand, but now it's set up for that. So there is a manager section in Creator Hub and in Stake Hub, which is really cool. So everything is supported. So that was a new thing that we added here recently to support all the needs of our users. And kind of the feedback that because a lot of the stars that have come on have come through agents, come through relationships, not directly from our relationships, but from others. So we need to build that in. So that's why you see the agents and the managers in the Stake Hub. Okay. So I wanted to share with that. It's super awesome. You guys, that's massive. This is such a big deal because it creates this constant flow of new people coming onto the platform, but it also supports them. That's something that a lot of NFT platforms, none that I know of, do that. And it allows you to financially build a business out of it because it automatically allows you to attach financial rewards for those people associated with you. So not only do fans connect with creators, but now their managers, their staff, their agents can be connected directly to them in StarStake. Doesn't that make sense, right? Like if a star already has an agent or has somebody, they can connect the dots inside of our system so that person can get paid appropriately, especially if they're offering services. Super important. Okay, so the Access NFT stuff, this is all pretty much done. Okay, so whenever you buy an NFT and then you get access to a t-shirt or whatever, you can come in here. You can say, okay, I want to see this t-shirt thing that I got access to, all the information. Okay, I want, you know, access to it. I can claim it, get it, whatever. All this is done. It's pretty insane. Your My Bucks section, that's all done. The Convert Bucks, all of that. The Get Crypto, all of this is done. The training center is done. This was a huge undertaking. So all of this right in here, you can go in here, for example, again, this is the dev server, so you can't see the actual server that has all the content uploaded yet, but you can see, you know, this is the training center. You can watch tutorials in here. You can go through here. All this, we have a getting started section, so every user can go through the getting started area, and they'll, as you do stuff in StarStake, it'll mark these off, which allows you to get some cool rewards at the end. That's all built and done, things like that. So all these things that you're seeing here is finished. Creator Hub is, I would say, 95% done. There's really just about 5% of connecting some of the things in here, but this is all working, which is pretty cool. The minting stuff, you can mint, create your star profile is done. The INFT minting is done. So mint new INFT. All this is working, which is pretty cool. NFT bucks working, done. Come in here and create collections. All that, again, there's nothing that's final in here. That's why it's empty, but this is all working, which is super cool. We can mint a buck. And it'll mint a buck, how it's supposed to. Access tokens, same thing. Come in here and mint. These are just fake ones, but you can come in here, check out your access token, all right, that you're minting for people to get when you create your NFTs, so forth. So all this is working. There we go, right? All that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, all this, a lot of the things you're seeing here are done. The registration process, the things that are left is when you go to the NFT marketplace, the marketplace is all good to go. And let me see if I can show you, because there's nothing in here yet. But if I go to, yep, so the data is not available just because we haven't uploaded them. But if you were to see those NFT pages, you'll be able to actually buy. There's some things that they're just finishing up on the actual staking contracts. So the INFTs and the tracking system. So how you guys can share. The cool thing that we decided to do on that. So if you refer someone to somebody's NFT, let's just say I release a song, there's an NFT for it. and you like it, you don't have to buy it, but you can share it to people. And when you share it and somebody comes to StarStake and ends up buying that, you make 7%. It's just flat 7%. Okay. We may change that over time, but in the beginning, it'll be 7% just for sharing my INFT with your friends. Okay. Now, if your friends end up buying more than that, if they end up shopping around like, oh, I didn't even know StarStake existed, but over here's Justin Bieber's thing, and here's Michael Jordan's NFT or whatever, and you end up buying that, you'll get 7% of that as well. So I don't know if I said that right, but the bottom line is you may send somebody to buy one thing through your link, but if they end up buying other NFTs at the same time, basically they came from your link last, you'll get credit for all of that. You'll get 7% on all those NFT sales. Okay, so it's not just the one you send, it's just whoever sent you the link the last time, that's how it will track. So if you were the one sending the link to this NFT or whatever, and they clicked on it and they came back next week, and as long as they didn't come from somebody else's link, it will remember your wallet and your link. And if they buy something a week later, you'll get paid. And all of a sudden in your StarStake account, it'll show you made a 7% reward just for an NFT you forgot you shared, right? Now, if somebody else shares an NFT and they go through their link, then it will then track to them because they're the last person. Okay, so that's how we set up the tracking. It's pretty cool how it works like that. This is a much different type of tracking system compared to traditional affiliate marketing that uses cookies and things. It doesn't work like that. But we are, this is Web3 stuff, so we had to invent new ways of doing this, which is it's been interesting. Okay, so anyways, so just so you can get an idea, all this stuff, same thing with the bucks. You'll come through here. You'll be able to check out bucks. Let's just, you can add them to cart. You guys have seen that. I can see, there's the cart. If I want to check out for details on this thing, the Stan Lee StarStake Founders buck. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Okay, I can add it to cart here, etc. So all this stuff is ready to go. We're going to be uploading the final stuff on the main server. This is just the dev server, so it's pretty sloppy, but this is where you'll be able to shop and do all this cool stuff. So again, we are really close. We're putting the final touches on some of the smart contract pieces, uploading content. Now there's a lot of things in here that, for example, like in Creator Hub, when I go to mint an INFT, okay, if I mint this new NFT, there's this button here that says watch tutorial. I click on that. We have to just finish these real quick tutorials that explain maybe this page, or if we want to go into the NFT page builder, for example, I don't think, I have to start with the first one, right? So if I come into this video would explain this page and these features, and then I go to the next page, there's a little video. I mean, we're talking 20-second, 30-second videos or whatever, depending on the page. So these are things we're doing now over the next 2 weeks to just get things in here so people know what to do. And so when it comes time to turning this puppy on, that people aren't lost in outer space or whatever. So other than that, the only other things that I'll just give you a sneak peek that we're finishing, we have an About Us page. I knew this was going to be the last one. This will just explain who we are, our partnerships, our mission, our vision, what we do, some about myself and the founders, kind of our roadmap, our staff, our executive, just some stuff that really helps people say, wow, there's people behind this, right? It's not just, some type of production in another country behind some blanket. We want to be super transparent, you guys, because we know there are bad apples out there. We don't ever want people to think that, we're doing anything other than we want to create a great product that makes a difference, that does something special, that provides a superior service, that really, at the end of the day, allows these creators that do such amazing things that we consume every day. It's not just about the followers or us liking their stuff. It's about us being connected to those people. Like, I like music. I love music, in fact. But look, I don't get to support them. I sign up for Spotify and I listen to their music, but I know how hard it is to have a business like that. I know they have to hustle, especially, new artists. I want to support them in a way. I would buy their NFT if it got me access to them in some way. If my favorite, musician, if I could buy their NFT and I felt like, okay, this thing could provide something better in my life, but also I get a backstage pass to a concert that I can go to with my wife, like, how awesome is that? I would do that. And especially knowing that supports them, that's amazing. That connection does not happen today. It will happen with StarStake. And that's what we're here to do, is help build these creator economies that are independent of labels, that are independent of the Facebook algorithms and the YouTube algorithms that, these stars are kind of hung at the mercy of saying, why do you think that every YouTube video says, hey, what is it? Subscribe and click the bell icon, like and subscribe, like and subscribe. They have to do that. You know why they have to do that? They have to do it because the algorithms demand it. If they don't get people to like and subscribe, they don't get seen to their followers. Their audience will not see them. It's not about just producing content anymore. A great producer of great YouTube videos, that's just like the first little piece. And you know how much work it is to make a YouTube video like some of these? It's insane. But then after they're done, they have to constantly be telling people, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, and they have to comment or they will not be seen. It is a very difficult way to run a business, to run your art, to do what you want to do. Whereas with StarStake, you can create your content, put it out there, share your StarStake page, share your NFT for that, right? And therefore, you can be seen in front of your audience here on StarStake. And then when people buy that, you can make money here on StarStake with all the utilities and the tools and the resources and give access to your content through StarStake. Meaning when you buy that NFT, here's the link to the special feature for that content or whatever. Here's the YouTube link or whatever. So it just allows us to kind of empower people so they don't have to be limited by all the options that are out, because there are not a lot of options, especially if you're a creator in some type of art form, video, audio, whatever it is. The traditional channels are dictated by some of these big corporations, and I get it, they run a businesses, nothing wrong with that, but it also makes it really hard for creators, but it creates great opportunity too for them. Like if we didn't have the YouTubes of the world and the Facebooks, we wouldn't be talking. I wouldn't be able to do what I do either. So it's just a matter of finding that balance of letting the creators have control, but also allowing them to leverage these great channels of distribution, which are these Facebooks and YouTubes and Twitters. So with that, here's where we are. This is it, guys. We are at the home stretch now. I hope you enjoyed this quick little sneak peek to what we have going on. I can't wait for everybody to get their hands on this thing. My reassurance to you is regardless of our deadline, regardless of our timeline, is you will have a working product that will not have any catastrophic errors, or you won't get the thing that you bought, or you won't be able to get access to the money or to the coins or whatever. You'll have what we promise you to have, and that is a product that you can be proud of, that you can enjoy using, that you can share with people. That's all we care about. Yes, it's a little bit frustrating when we don't hit our deadlines and we delay. Now I understand what these big game development companies go through when they're delaying, but at the end of the day, it's about that user experience that we got to just make sure that we hold up our end of the bargain with. And so as one of the owners and founder of this, you have my reassurance that we will deliver on that regardless. So we'll do everything that it takes to get us there. So thank you for your support. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience and understanding in this process. It's not easy to put together a company, a technology company, let alone any company from the scratch, both financially and the time and the commitment that it takes. It's quite difficult. So all the things that you guys do, we know that you're doing it, and we know that you support us and have been positive, and we'll just make sure we hold up on our end of the bargain. So with that, this is Chris. Hope you guys have a great week, and we'll be talking soon, I'm sure. Bye-bye. StarStake Explorers, we have you on screen. Performing NFT systems check. Stage 1 access is set. Launch systems intact. StarStake, we are a go.
All right, so I know that was a lot of information for you guys to understand, for you to process, for you to analyze. But the one thing that I will tell you is once StarStake is fully ready, it will be very systematic for you to see how people, as far as creators, will be onboarded, and how fans will also be able to be onboarded and participate as well, with a series of videos that Tarek is basically outlining for everyone to view. So this really is where we are at right now. We have this tremendous decentralized app called StarStake, which really is the first IP marketplace / NFT marketplace that has been created that allows brick and mortar businesses as well as creators from every single industry to be able to leverage their content where they could not in the past. And as an example to that, you have YouTube creators, you have TikTok creators that need thousands and thousands of views. They have to constantly have all their people click like and subscribe and follow and do this in order to boost their algorithm, in order to allow themselves to be able to get some kind of compensation. But in order to do that, they have to grow their fan base to a certain amount, especially on the TikTok side of things, into the hundreds of thousands, if not the millions, in order for them to be somewhat compensated. We're going to give people a way where they are going to receive 70% of the profits, and they are not going to have to pay any money to post their content. They are not going to pay any money to create their INFTs or anything else that goes with it. In other words, they can do all of this for free and make 70% of the profit. How game-changing do you think that is going to be going forward? And if you have the capability or are already staking 25 NRGY, you are going to receive a portion of the DAF revenue that StarStake is going to bring. And we quite honestly believe over the next couple years, who knows, maybe even less, that we will be a billion-dollar company when it comes to that, just in StarStake alone. That in itself is going to boost the price of NRGY dramatically and is going to give the capability of people to be able to benefit from this technology for years to come. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it back over to Dwayne and he can wrap up for today.
So guys, I'll keep this short and sweet, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. There was a great question, and I usually say questions, but I want to answer this. I answered it in the chat box, but I want to answer it live because this was such a great question. FGS asked, can you sell your products on the platform? Could you buy a bottle of whiskey if Jameson put it up there? So could this be an alternative to Amazon, Etsy, etc.? And the answer is absolutely, but even better than that. Not only can you purchase an Access NFT, which is basically the Access token that we've been talking about. You can make a stake in the INFT. You can get the Access NFT. You can get the product you want, but you can also get paid. The creator of the IP, of the intellectual property, can set all the parameters, and you can see what those parameters are. But as the growth of that intellectual property or that brand grows, you're able to earn royalties from that for being in that Infinity NFT. That is so valuable because StarStake does something that no other platform does. There's nobody that has this technology. It creates individual contracts with IP purchasers, INFT purchasers, intellectual property purchasers, or Infinity NFT purchasers. And that's so powerful, guys. Think about that. People can purchase the INFT. They can do as little or as much as they want, and they're able to earn royalties from that intellectual property. But the creator can set those parameters and say, okay, if you purchase X amount of dollars in this Infinity NFT, you're not only going to get a stake in the intellectual property, but you're going to get the product that you want as well. And this platform, guys, is unlike anything else. Hold on one second. So I got my got my kids at the office here, so I had to holler at them. But Star Stake's going to be something special. So to wrap this up, if you want to see what an idea of what you could earn by staking 25 Energy, I'm going to encourage you to do one thing. Go to YouTube and go to my channel, Enfurio.com, or Enfurio, E-N-F-U-R-I-O. Just type in E-N-F-U-R-I-O. That's me. And I did a presentation last week called Last Call to Get an Energy at the Ground Floor. If you want to see what those royalties could potentially be in the future, I would highly, highly encourage you to watch that. And I should be sharing my screen while I do this. Let me go back. So go to YouTube, type in E-N-F-U-R-I-O. That's me, Enfurio. That's my little boy pointing at the camera. And last call, last call to get an energy at the ground floor. Watch that video. That's going to tell you. One thing I will tell you is this. I show in that video how in the future, not overnight, but in the future, how it's possible to have 100,000 people that have 25 Energy staked and each be earning $50,000 a month from the royalties, how that potential is there. Now, it's not a guarantee, but I show that potential. And of course, you know, that's not going to happen overnight. I also show people how really there's only a limited number of people that can stake 25 Energy. Why? Well, one, you got the price. As the price goes up, it becomes harder and harder for most people to get 25. But the main thing is the supply. The supply of energy is so limited. So it's not like an endless amount of people can just keep staking 25 Energy to earn royalties. No, that's not how this works. If you have 25 Energy staked, you're in a pretty select group because the supply is so thin. So as that supply gets squeezed from people wanting to stake 25 Energy to earn royalties on the entire ecosystem, guess what happens to the value? So what do you need to do? Right now, you need to get back to the person who invited you to hear about energy. You're going to want to go and you're going to want to get energy with the 80% bonus that ends just in a few days. Okay, it'll go down to 70%. So the way the bonus works, it's 80% now. In a few days, it'll be 70%, and it'll be 70% for 4 weeks, and then it'll drop to 60%, and it'll be that for 4 weeks, and then it'll drop to 50, and so forth and so on. That bonus, you can purchase 14 Energy. And when you migrate it to Polygon, you'll have your 25 Energy staked. Right now, you can get energy for, if I refresh the screen, the price of energy, let's take a look at it. Right now, it is about $180. So if you take 180, let's say 185, because you're going to have a little bit for gas. 185 times 14, that's about $2,600. You can actually earn royalties on the energy ecosystem for about $2,600 right now. In the future, guys, there's a good chance that could be much, much, much higher. And I show that in the video I did last week. I mean, it's possible you could see to have 25 Energy staked, especially after the bonus period. I mean, people may be spending 100 grand plus just to have 25 Energy staked, maybe even more than that. So, you know, just to summarize this whole thing, as word gets out, especially with Star Stake getting deployed, as word gets out about what is pain in a down economy, it won't take long for the world to notice.